Hi,
Hi.
welcome back to another episode of Our Coffee Talk. I'm Edmund, I'm the counsellor.
Hi, I'm Cheryl, speech and language therapist.
Cheryl, you know that school holiday is going to end soon?
Yeah, time flies so quickly. I mean, even though we don't need that school holiday, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So because the school is going to reopen soon, and I know a lot of parents are preparing their child for P1.
Oh, yes.
So imagine you have a child that's going to P1. What would you do as a SLT to prepare your child for the new school, learning, P1 transitions? Yeah.
That's a very good question, I think. Well, I wouldn't say it's like super different because they do go through preschool also, right? So but definitely the class size will increase.
Yeah.
Right.
Most likely 40 per class. Yeah.
Depends on the intake, right? Like maybe 30 to 40, we are expecting a much larger class size.
Yeah.
Then probably a smaller teacher to student ratio also.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I think a lot of times it will be expected, right, to focus in class also. Yeah. So in terms of instructions wise, I think usually we expect them to be able to follow the 2 to 3 step instructions.
Okay.
Yeah. So perhaps longer instructions rather than just I take a water bottle.
So how would you prepare your child if let's say you have a child going into P? How you prepare your child to be able to learn how to follow 2 to 3 step instructions?
I guess maybe practice like role playing in a way. And maybe today mommy is gonna be the teacher. Yeah. So you're gonna listen. So in a way we can make it a little bit more fun rather than just purely just giving instructions. I think maybe in a way we can play like Simon Says. Yeah, instead of Simon Says, you change it to probably if the parent knows the name of the teacher, the new teacher, and maybe
Miss Ng says,
Miss Ng says, yeah, take your bag and then put your water bottle down. Something like that. That's a 2-step instruction already. Yeah. So maybe in terms of like books also, like if there's recommended book list that they're supposed to be able to read through, maybe parents can go through the books as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I think. I will like at least go through the books instead of like, when the teacher is teaching the book, then we go to that chapter. Maybe we don't have to complete the entire book. Perhaps like just the first chapter.
Just like flip through and be familiarized a little bit.
Yeah, so in the sense whereby if it's thematic approach also, there will be characters that appear like sometimes a few throughout the few books as well. Yeah, then possibly to familiarize the child with what is going to happen, certain things, or we can know like maybe some other subjects like if they have like math also. Yeah, so for them to be able to preempt them in a way. Yeah, rather than them being very overwhelmed. Yeah.
Okay.
How about the emotional side of things?
Yeah, I think a lot of times for young children to go to P1, there will be a lot of anxiety. Usually I'll recommend parents to maybe a week before to walk past the school a bit more often and try to introduce, this will be your new school.
Okay.
Hey, you're going to start school soon in this new school, and repeat it a few times so that they are familiar with the buildings, rather than on the first day itself, suddenly they are in these big schools that they do not know what's going on. Yeah, so walking past a few times, driving past a few times, that will be very good.
Yep.
Of course, handling their emotions in sense of ensuring they feel safe, assuring them that daddy and mommy will be there to pick you up, or you will still see daddy, mommy after schools. A lot of this kind of assurance is important, especially for those who are a bit more shy, a bit more timid students, right? So that they know that, hey, mommy is not going to just throw me into school and then that's it, will abandon me, kind of things, right? The sense of safety and security is very important, right?
So to help those with like separation anxiety.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also important to build some routines before the school starts. Maybe 1 or 2 weeks before the school starts, you have to start sleeping on a certain time.
Oh, yes.
And wake up on a certain time so that they get used to the routine.
Yep.
Yeah. If not, if you want them to adjust on the first week of school, it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very challenging, right?
Yes, yes.
Imagine they have not been sleeping well, and then suddenly you want them to wake up at 6:30 to go to school. Of course, they're going to throw a tantrum, right? Yeah. So the routine is important.
Yes, yes. I think you brought out a good point, like about being shy, right? How about those kids, you know, if they are naturally quite shy to begin with, do you think like making friends, new friends in a new environment would be difficult for them as well?
It's definitely going to be a challenge, right? Like you mentioned earlier, there will be a big class, right?
Yes.
So they need to suddenly start to interact with so many people. Some of them may not be comfortable, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So as a parent, maybe you can also preempt them that, hey, you're going to meet a lot of friends, you know, but at the same time, take away the pressure that they don't have to know everyone immediately.
Yes.
All right. Maybe start by knowing just one friend, you know, and then slowly build up from there, right? Rather than immediately ask them to name all the friends in their class, which they are going to be not able to do so.
Yes, right? Yes.
And like you mentioned, if they know the name of the teacher, so you can start familiarize them with, oh, you're going to meet Miss Ng, you're going to meet Mr. Tan, and Mr. Tan is your maths teacher, or Miss Ng is your form teacher. Just put that into the conversation so that they get familiar with these names. Yeah.
And also, will they actually get to see the teachers? Like during like primary, like 1 registration or
Probably they have met the teachers in the primary 1 registration, but probably just the form teachers. They may not meet all the other subjects teachers, right?
I see. Yes. I think in a way also getting them for registration is also quite a good move as well, right?
Yes.
To familiarize with the new environment also.
So they can see the schools, they can feel how it's like in the schools. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just wondering, right? Because when they are in P1, there'll be a lot more learning, right?
Yes.
As an SLT, what's your tips for parents in terms of learning, you know, especially languages, you know? Yeah.
I think it really depends on the child's ability as well before they actually join the school as well. And not saying that teachers will be very demanding and say, oh, you must know all these words, you must be able to spell. I think that's why they actually do away with examinations until P3, right? So that allows them a little bit more time to learn in P1 and P2. Yeah, and also based on my understanding, there will be additional support also for children who are actually struggling, right? In schools, if teachers do notice, then they will highlight, and then they will actually get some additional support as well.
I think you brought up a very good point. I think in school nowadays, there's school counselors. There is a special education officers that the parents can seek help with.
Yes.
So I think it's also important for parents to let the schools know what are the child struggling with, so that you know all this support can be put in.
It's not to like, you know, actually stigmatize them also, but actually to let the teachers know like, oh, my child actually has this need as well, because without knowing that the child has a need, it's very hard for the teachers to support them. And it's quite natural also, because in a class of like 40 kids it's very tough for the teacher to be like just giving additional attention to just one kid also. So I think in a way, if let's say parents know beforehand that my child does have some difficulties with certain language, like unable to spell the words, not having phonics skills also, like poor reading skills, poor writing skills as well. This can be something that the parent might want to discuss with the form teacher also, letting the form teacher know as well.
Or even like certain diagnoses, right? Like dyslexic or I don't know, ADHD or autism.
ADHD, yes. Yeah. Dyslexia depends, I think. Usually it will be like around P2, P3 before they are officially diagnosed.
So they'll pick up much later.
Oh, yeah, I would think so. Usually they will say, oh, whether you know, in terms of formal education, like how many years of formal education, do you still have difficulty? So usually it's like when they enter primary school, then after like 2 years of additional support, right? Then they will be the special needs officer might suggest that, oh, how about sending your child for a formal diagnosis? Probably sometime in P2, P3.
Understand. I think for my side, I think the other important thing is to teach the child where and how to get help.
Oh, yes.
Who can they approach in schools?
Yes.
All right. How to ask for help, like really help them to practice asking the question, like, can I have this, or may I have this, or can I go to the toilet? Even simple things like that. I think teaching the child that
communication
how to verbalize it is important, right?
That's like a crossover between the two areas.
Yeah.
The language and like emotionally, how do they speak up for themselves also?
Yes,
I think.
correct. Yeah.
Because sometimes in the new environment, there are like much older kids also. Like imagine as a P1, I go into school, then there's like a P6.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And then which teacher that they can approach to, or where the safe place that they can go to, like generally at the general office.
Oh yeah, yes.
I think teaching the child all these things is important because they may not be used to asking for help at home, right? Because they're comfortable, parents are there, the maid is there to help them with all their needs.
Yeah.
But now that they're in primary 1, it's a very unfamiliar place. They don't even know where the toilet is. They don't know how to buy things. So teaching them how to verbalize, express themselves is very, very important.
Yeah. I mean, now I'm not 100% sure whether they still use coins or like notes in school. But if they do, they still need to be able to count the coins and notes also, right? To be able to like tell the canteen vendors what they want to order also. All these are skills that can be practiced at home also, if parents haven't been really practicing all these skills all along, because these are skills that are essential also. And I think like what you mentioned, like making friends, right? Even if they're one friend, but if they are unsure of like, hey, can we go to the playground together? All these are scripts that they might have to learn also.
Yes.
Yeah. Not saying that they must follow a particular script, but at least give them some ideas that say, oh, you can say this if you want to invite a friend to play, that sort of thing. Because like in preschool, it's more controlled time also. They will know like, oh, at this time point, I'll go and play. Yeah. Or like this time point, we have like speech and drama class. Yeah.
So I think the difference is that in preschool, the structure is clearer. So they know what time, what is happening. Whereas in the primary school, things might be a bit more chaotic and they need to get used to it.
I think in terms of like lesson wise also, the primary school should have structured lessons. But what I'm referring is like recess time.
Okay.
Like what do they do?
I see.
Whereas for like preschool, maybe it's more like, oh, you eat and then you rest and sleep, right? Yeah, maybe by recess time you have an extended period, but what if I didn't eat for 5 minutes? Then what am I going to do for that 25 minutes, right? Am I just going to sit there in the canteen and watch other people? Or am I going to run into the playground by myself? Or do I want somebody with me? That sort of thing. Yeah.
True, interesting. So it seems like quite a lot of things to consider going into a P1 school.
So I mean, not wrong to say it's a little bit more chaotic, maybe more unstructured lah. Because you expect like as you grow older, more autonomy, right? To choose what you want to do. Because as kids, primary school kids, they grow older, they have the choice to like, maybe I want to go to the library, I want to go and walk around the school or do something else, right? Instead of eating.
I think all this will depend on the schools also, right? Because
the school rules also.
The school rules,
True.
When can they go to the library? When can they play in the playground? Are they able to borrow a ball or not? I think these are all the variables that will be different for each school.
Also, maybe rule abiding also. It might be difficult for some kids as well, right? So maybe some of them feel that, how come in preschool I'm so free, whereas in primary school then suddenly there are so many rules to follow.
I think the biggest challenge would be they have to pay attention the whole day.
Oh yes.
Right? I think in the past when in preschool, yes, you have to pay attention, but maybe not so long. But now then they're expected. There's nap time. There's really like snack break and everything. Maybe primary school will still have snack break, but I think the general expectation is that the time are longer. They have to pay attention and sit still and not move for a longer period of time.
If I'm not wrong, one lesson is 1 hour, right? Around there.
Depends on school, I guess. Half an hour to 1 hour. It
the
really
number
depends.
of periods also.
Yeah, the number of periods. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but from what I understand, certain schools will actually lessen the amount of time learning, like in terms of 1 hour, they will shorten it to like probably 50 minutes. And then they will have the snack break, like probably 10 minutes.
But not every hour they'll have a snack break, right? That'll be very weird. So many.
Maybe depends on which time of the day.
Usually there's only one snack break and one recess.
Oh, is it? But some schools will be like, they'll implement like,
the
bell.
Break, yeah.
Bell, then after the ring, then they will like take a short 5 minutes before the next lesson.
Maybe.
Like for transitioning, like they will say, it's time to pack your stuff from this period and start to prepare for the next period. Something along that line.
I'm not sure if all schools will have that.
Some I think some schools.
I mean, that's the ideal, right? There's a clear start and end, and then there's some transition period for the child to get used to or move about before the next lesson starts, right?
Yeah. So
that's the ideal.
I guess in a way it really depends on the style of the school also. So when parents get to know what is the preferred style of the school, if it's like very structured, we have transition breaks, that sort of thing, it can be something that they try to implement at home also to get the kids used to it. Yeah, rather than, like sometimes when they say, you're home, okay, now you go shower. Yeah, then sometimes, now you can do homework. Or now you cannot play. That sort of thing. Then it's quite abrupt to the child also. Then they'll be like, it's like all of a sudden I just have to follow everything you say. Yeah, then they might not be used to it. That's what I feel. So it's something that parents can get to understand better also, like what is happening in school. Then they try to implement similar things, not exactly like copy. Yeah.
I think a lot of schools will do things like whole body listening kind of a thing. So I think if parents can find out some of these general things that the school is doing and also implement in school in their home, I think that will help the child to feel a bit more comfortable.
And the rules,
and the rules, right?
Okay. And how about like I think maybe the biggest change would be, I think, to primary school, maybe packing a bag, right? Like all of a sudden I have books that I need to pack into my pencil case. But it's really a difficulty to some of the kids who have never been taught like, what to put into my bag. Yeah.
And also depending on the how advanced is their executive functioning, right?
Okay.
Because some of them really needs help in planning and things like that. And some students are generally better at that, so they can take care of their things, they can pack their own things, but some needs a bit more help and support. They might just leave their water bottle behind, or they might not remember what's in their pencil case. Like, do I have 5 pens or do I have 4 pens? I may just leave it on the table. I do not know how to
go home with an empty bag.
Correct.
Maybe sometimes they really pack everything they bring to school, but then when they go home with nothing.
So I think in this area, I would really think parents need to be a bit more patient and see where their child's ability is. Not everyone can pack their own bag immediately. It takes some skill, some training.
True.
Right? So I think parents need to see where the child is and then start from there and then slowly help them to build their skills. And it may take some time, It's not like 1 week, 2 weeks, then they'll be able to do it themselves.
True. And making use of like the handbook also. Like sometimes to take notes, like what is maybe something that they have to do, homework, that sort of thing, like making it a habit also.
But for P1, do you think it's fair to expect them to be able to use the handbook?
You have to start young, right? I mean, maybe, but there's a reason why they give handbook also, right? Other than the school rules being inside, I would think just basic, teachers will encourage, like say, okay, today we'll
write down the homework.
I write down the homework. At least parents are in the know, like say, there's some homework today. Then can ensure at the same time, like, before packing the bag, can say, actually today there's this homework. Did we put it in our bag? That sort of thing, like a checklist.
Okay. So Cheryl, what is one absolute things parents need to do before school reopen, in your opinion?
Absolute thing.
Like if they can only do one thing, what is this one thing that they need to do?
I think I will still go back into like the role play of like instructions. Getting some structure in the rules and making it fun rather than scaring them, say that you're going to a place filled with rules, that sort of thing. So it actually helps to let them understand that there's expectations also when you're in class. You have to listen to this teacher. Yeah, you know, and being in a bigger class also, you really have to be able to follow instructions as well. Yeah, but of course, you're also given the allowance to ask your friends for help also. Yeah, so in a way, it's also to mentally prep them. Yeah. Okay. How about yourself?
Wow. Absolute one thing that parents need to do before school reopen, I would say, is routines.
Yeah, I think that's very important.
Start sleeping regular, at the same time.
Okay.
So that they get used to the idea of sleeping at the same time.
Yes.
Start waking up at the same time so that they also get used to waking up at the same time. If not, last minute you want them to do that, it's very challenging.
Right? We as adults, we know also, like during, like leave, when you're on leave, on holidays, you tend to sleep late. Yeah. But when you start going back to work, you'll be like, oh, it's so dreadful because you can't wake up. And then kids will have it even worse as well, right?
Yeah. And even after school routine, I think is also important.
Yes.
Like, do you shower first or do you eat first? Then do you nap, then do homework, or do you do homework first then nap? I think all these things parents have to decide in advance and then practice it and ensure that routine is there. I think that will really help the child manage that day.
Okay. So that they feel more alert in a way for the next day, more prepared.
More alert is one thing, but it's also the psychological safety. Like, I know what's happening in the day, so I don't have to constantly thinking about what's going to happen next. What am I supposed to do next?
Okay.
Because at their age, they need that structure and safety so that they doesn't feel too anxious, so that it doesn't feel too I won't say panic, but it's more like so what am I supposed to do now? Like that kind of thing.
Create a little bit of predictability.
Yes, predictability. Yes, correct.
Well. Then build a routine also.
So at least they know that after school I'm supposed to shower first, then do my homework, then take a nap, and then playtime after that, or whatever variation that you have. So at least they know how the day is going to be like, rather than so now what do I do?
Just waiting for somebody to tell me what to do.
Do I shower now? Do I take a nap now? Do I play now?
It's good to start young. If not, when they are in their teenage years, they'll be like, I'm not gonna follow this.
That's a totally different issue.
Yes, we can talk about that later on, right? About teenage years.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. I think more or less we covered about school readiness from preschool to primary school.
Yeah.
So
what should we talk about next time?
Since we talk about teenage years, let's talk about some transitioning from primary to secondary. They will face another set of issues, right?
Yeah. Let's skip that to the next episode then.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment.
And share.
Yes, share too. Okay. Bye-bye.